Hey everyone, I'm super excited to show you how to set up your Figma design file for high quality code like a pro. You've probably watched our demo video by now, but if you haven't, no worries, I'll give you a quick overview of Locofy. Locofy is an AI-powered developer tool that converts your designs into developer-friendly front-end code in a flash. Our plugin lives within the design tools you already know and love, like Figma and Adobe XD. You can convert your designs into any of most popular web and mobile frameworks like React, Next.js, HTML, Angular, Vue, Gatsby, and React Native, with more coming very soon. With the generated code, you can export or sync it to GitHub and VS Code. Okay, let's head over to Figma to check out some examples. Over here, we have our design open in Figma. It's a simple design that should look pretty familiar. It's an Airbnb-style website. You will notice that I actually have two of the same design. The one on the left is poorly structured design, and the one on the right is well-structured design. Although these two designs may look identical, they're actually worlds apart when you take a look into their layer structure on Figma. The design on the right is well-structured because it follows the best design practices. I'll cover what are the best design practices in detail later in this video. Locofy is highly dependent on you providing a well-structured design to be able to generate high-quality developer-friendly code. Very simply put, the more structured your designs, the better quality code you will get from Locofy. Alrighty, let's try converting this poorly structured design to code and see what kind of result we'll get. Locofy is done converting my design to code, and over here I can see a live preview of the generated code. As you can tell, it doesn't match the design. There are unwanted white boxes covering the design, there is text partially hidden, and some misalignment item on the card item here. On top of that, when I try reducing the width to test responsiveness, the cards in the grid are not collapsing nicely. Now, let's see what Locofy generates using well-structured design. As you can tell, the design is being translated very well to code. And there are no unwanted elements, and alignment looks right. Now let's reduce the width to check responsiveness. The cards are collapsing nicely, and you can also see the code powering the preview. So now that we understand the design structure plays a crucial role in generating high-quality code, let's see what are the optimizations we need to make to our designs. There are a couple of steps you need to take when you optimize your design, such as grouping your elements, applying auto layout, defining consistent gaps and alignments, handling text layers properly, using background images, using strokes instead of lines for borders, and contextually naming your layer. If you take a look under the surface of the well-structured design, you will find these practices in action. Here are the layers are nicely grouped together with clear layer naming and auto layout applied. You can also tell the gaps are consistent, and the text and background images are also handled correctly as well. Let's start by learning how to group layers effectively. Items that convey related information and are positioned too close to each other should be grouped to establish a clear relationship. Let's see this in action. Here I have a card with the flat layer structure. I'll group them with related items. For example, the name and the place are close together and contextually connected, so they should be grouped. To group them, select the two elements, right-click, and choose Frame Selection. Similarly, the rating can be grouped as well. The left and right elements can be grouped together, and top and bottom can be grouped as well. And just like that, we've neatly grouped all necessary items, creating a clear and organized structure. Next, we'll apply auto layout to our design to make it responsive. Auto layout lets you create designs that automatically adjust as you make changes, saving you time and making your design responsive and adaptable. To apply auto layout, select the grouped item, right-click, and choose Add Auto Layout. Or you can use Shift-A as a shortcut. I will apply auto layout in all frames in this card. Once applied, you will see controls for spacing, padding, and alignment. When working with auto layout, it's important to understand the difference between fill and hug. With hug, the frame adjusts its size to fit the content inside, typically used for height. However, with fill, the frame stretches to fill the available space and typically used for width. This combination of grouping and flexible sizing creates a polished, responsive design that adapts smoothly to changes. I will apply fill container for width in all inner elements so that inner elements width adapts to the parent container. Next, let's ensure consistent gaps and alignment. Consistent gaps and alignment are essential for creating a visually harmonious design. We'll apply 16-pixel padding around the card to create breathing space and remove any unnecessary gaps between the elements inside. Similar for absolute element, we need to set the right constraint. Here we have a heart icon on the top right side. Therefore, we will need to apply the top right constraint on the right panel. Now that when I resize the card, you can see the element stays on the top right side. This helps achieve a clean, cohesive look while keeping everything aligned and visually balanced. We can also set the minimum and maximum width and height of the elements. This adds another layer of control, ensuring the components that stays responsive without breaking the layout. Minimum sizes help maintain readability and structure, while max size prevent elements from growing too large and dominating the design. For my card over here, I'll add a minimum width of 280. And now, if I reduce the width, you can see that it does not go below 280. Let's move on to handling text layers. To understand this, we'll use footer section containing the slogan of our app. For text layers, the height should always be set to hug. And when it comes to width, you can set it based on your requirements. If your width is hug, the text will always be in one line irrespective of your parent's width. If you want to set the text to adjust to the parent's container size, you can set it to fill container. Then it will adjust to the parent's size. You can also choose to truncate the text and max number of lines by going to the text settings on the right panel. You can choose to truncate text and give the maximum lines. If you change the width size of this container, you can see that text gets truncated with the maximum lines of 3. Let's talk about background images right away. Instead of placing rectangles or images as an absolute element behind your design, you can apply the background image directly to the frame and use the fill property. It avoids unnecessary layers and helps maintain alignment, especially when your frame size changes and the image resizes smoothly with the frame. In this hero section, I have an absolute image for the background. I'll take this out and copy the properties of this image. And now I can paste the properties to the hero section. With that, you can see that we have the same image as a background, but using fill property. When adding borders, use stroke on frames instead of drawing separate lines and rectangles. This keeps your layout cleaner and ensures the border stays consistent with the frame size and position. Plus, you will get better control over corner radius and padding without dealing with the alignment issues. I have a card here with border lines. But instead of using separate lines, which are easy to move around and are not part of the design, like you see here, we'll apply a stroke to the frame itself. To do this, first copy the color of the line, and then apply the stroke with the same color and remove the separate line. Now you'll notice that the border is responsive and part of the frame as well. Let's quickly talk about naming your layers. Clear layer names makes your Figma design file easier to navigate, lead to better class names in Locofy, and result in more readable code. Usually you will see layers with generic names like frame. This can get very confusing, especially if you have a nested frames. We'll go through our card example and name layers properly. For this state card, I'll give the left image section as a left image section and right as a card content. And in card content, I'll name the top section as name section and bottom as price section. This small step makes a big difference in keeping your design organized and your code clean. Let's tidy things up. Organizing your design file is super important, not just for a clean Figma workspace, but for generating high-quality code. Hopefully, you've got a clear understanding of how to do that now. That's all for now. We can't wait to see what you build with Locofy.